I'm currently at a crossroad in life, the beginning of what feels like a new chapter, potentially even a new book. I've decided to invest in my deepest desires as an artist, and as of today, I'm taking one big foot forward with this path that I'm going to be talking about. If we haven't met, hey, I'm Leah. From what you've seen in this video already, it's hard to believe, but I'm actually a collage artist. I've decided to explore painting much more seriously after spending the last 6 years fully immersed in collage. Until a few months ago, I had never made a realistic painting. I wouldn't have ever said I had limiting beliefs. More so, it was a state of mind that painting realistically was not for me. But then, all of a sudden, I had the urge to learn. I couldn't help myself. I was excited about the idea of starting at this age and how good I could be after just a few years of putting some hard work into it. It provided me with a challenge, which I always love. I signed up for a painting class and was hooked immediately. I struggled with the idea of opening myself to new mediums as I am a full-time collage artist, but something in me for the past year has nagged me. It's been telling me that I need to go deeper with my work and branch out a little bit. That it's time to explore and grow as an artist, finally. After releasing a video and hearing from all of you and seeing how much support I had, I've decided to set a very ambitious goal for the year. I'm going to be following my curiosity with all I've got. These next 365 days, I hope my life will look completely different at, and this crossroads that we're facing right now will be a revelation in my life.
So I always knew that I wanted to read deep work. I just wasn't sure when was going to be the right time, but I picked, honestly, the most perfect time in my life to read this, right now. This book for right now has been life-changing, and I don't say that lightly. So if you don't know this book, it's called Deep Work, and it's by Cal Newport. He's gone on to write quite a few books, and the next one that I'm definitely going to be reading is his one on digital minimalism. This book is really a guide on how to get the most out of your time and having to be able to dive deep into projects and finish things that you've been trying to do for a long time. His claim to fame on this is that before he was writing about 4 academic papers a year, he was really crunching that, and when he implemented all the strategies, he aimed to do 5 and actually ended up doing 9 in 1 year, which is incredible. As I said before too, he talks about digital minimalism, and this for me has been a big point of my year. If you saw my last video talking about how I feel like my brain is like short-circuited sometimes. He goes over so many strategies, and it felt good to feel like reinforced for a lot of them, but also learning new ones, and actually they've been working very well for me.
I've actually already done some of these strategies unknowingly, like my artist retreat I did in 2022. This week was honestly one of the best things I've ever done for my career and cost me less than $1,000. I'll link the video in case you're interested in it, but I booked a cottage away for a week and I made art, I wrote, I did activities that I love to do, and most importantly, I just thought. A lot of founders are credited for doing things like this, like big think weeks, for example, and I think that they are so valuable. I've already made it part of my routine to write every morning and read every part of my night. But if I want to succeed in my career this year, I'm going to need a lot more than just a few simple changes. In the book, he talks about many types of deep workers. The most intense type is the monastic, where you literally do not ever have an email address, no social presence, and the idea is to achieve a big body of work in your lifetime. This is what J.K. Rowling did when she was writing her books. A less intense version of this is called bimodal. A lot of this you see with professors, where sometimes they're teaching and they're very hands-on with their students, and then the other half they are spending time writing papers and not coming up for air. For me, I'm taking the rhythmic approach. This means every day doing the same routine in a chunk of time. I write and then I create. It's simple. The concept is, by the end of the year, instead of relying on inspiration to motivate me to do things I like, I will complete a minimum of 8 hours of art studio time a week. by simply tacking on 2 hours of making art to my journaling time. 4 days a week, that is. Which, if you think about it, isn't that big of a commitment. I've also decided to study outside of my home 1 day every 2 weeks. This will be dedicated to artist studies, meaning diving deeper into the artists that I admire, studying their techniques for a 4-hour chunk of time. So I've really been trying to find places that are different for me to study in, that are not homes, that I have these kind of interesting experiences. I feel like I am out of the house and I feel like I need to study because I'm in those spaces intentionally. And so today I'm at my classroom. I figured I have like 30 minutes before my next class. So I'm just, I have my notebook and I'm just trying to get some time in where I can study kind of consecutively. Obviously this isn't a lot of time, but it's something that is fun. So I'm trying to find artists, and so I've gone through works on Pinterest and gone through my boards and figured out who those artists are and looked at more of their work and why I like it. And I'm basically doing like a really deep dive into studying like you would in school. I will give you a couple of names that I've been studying. Obviously, I've talked a lot about Wayne Thibault. I love his work. I think it's really interesting that when you first look at it, it just looks like the object, but then you look closer and the shadows are so interesting and vibrant. That's definitely something I would love to bring to the table with my pieces in the future. Then I came across this image of this painting and I was instantly in love. I love this piece. This is by Leonardo Cremonini. I saw that the paintings were up for auction, so I guess he's passed away, but his use of color is just incredible, and I like how these images are just like kind of everyday moments. They're obviously very intense and moody, but I love like the subject matter, I guess, as well as how it's portrayed. Like how he brings in colors that usually wouldn't exist again. So we're really diving into color. Often the issue with goals is that they are often forgotten by February. So all these dates for these deep work sessions have been placed in my calendar, blocked off for the next year. Now, this may not look like anything spectacular, but we're gonna make it something to remember. I bought this paper and it's 30 inches wide, I believe, by 200 feet. And my goal by the end of it is to cover it, in every inch of it to be covered in some sort of art. I'm calling this like my motivation pants essentially, and the idea is that by the end of it, I feel like I'm gonna know a lot better of where I'm going this year with my art. I figure if I'm doing pieces that are like 30 by 40 inches, that's about 60 pieces, I believe, so it will last me quite a while. I originally had the idea where I would keep it in one giant piece and make it like a scroll, somehow hanging from the top of the easel and being able to collect itself at the bottom. I thought that this would be such a cool thing to have once I find the style, that once I start making the pieces, that I could hang it on a gallery ceiling or something and just have it loop around. Obviously, we can still try to figure out something like that if I end up going with that idea, but I really like where it's going and it's already inspiring some really cool ideas. I could have ordered some canvases and tried that way, but my idea for this was trying to get something that didn't feel precious. When you're making something on a canvas, I find that it takes up space in my studio, so I kind of have this pressure of trying to make it really good. Versus paper, I figure if I don't like it, it goes in the recycling bin, or I can stack it all or keep it in this roll. It's very much so easier to store than a canvas. And I really just want to be having fun in these sessions and not thinking too hard. One reason I decided to choose paper over canvas as well is that it's something that's familiar to me as a collage artist. By having it as paper, I can also collage with it. Obviously you can collage on canvas, but it's a lot easier to do on paper. So I feel like this is going to be inspiring for me to try different mixed media techniques. Let's talk a little bit about the subject matter. So this is a photo that I took in Portugal in 2023 when I went. This is my husband's family's bar in their backyard. It's so beautiful, and it was always a place where I was inspired. I do want to continue on this series of painting all the photos I have in my album, and this one felt like a good one to try because the goal for this piece was to finish it in less than 2 hours. That's right, I'm painting this all within 2 hours. It was actually closer to an hour, but I went in and added a couple details afterwards. The paper did buckle more than I expected it to, so I'm kind of thinking maybe I need to get a thicker paper, but I'm going to work with it for now because, as we talked about, this is just for practice, but I do like the way that this turned out, although this style is a little bit too loose for my liking usually.
So that goal that we spoke of at the beginning, well, I'm still trying to formulate it into actual words, but here's a little bit about that. I'm still trying to formulate exactly what it looks like and what it actually comes down to when I summarize it with words. But the hope is by the end of the year, if I'm spending 4 days a week, 2 hours each, in the studio, making different pieces of art, trying new things, experimenting, really diving deep into my studies, well, by the end of that, you'd hope that I'd have a collection. I'm hoping it's a new style. I'm hoping something new emerges from it, or I get clarity that these two styles do not go together in my way. Mixed media has always been a struggle for me, so I'm excited to see if I can figure that out. And hopefully I can mix all of my passions. I'm calling this painting and collage and sewing, hoping that they can find a way to come together into one piece.
Remember when I said that I was going to do 2-hour sessions? Well, this one lasted the entire day. I think I painted for about 5.5 hours, and I did complete the piece all in one day. This memory comes from a couple years back going to London, Ontario. There's a beautiful little brunch spot there, and I just saw the snow out the window and thought it was such a pretty sight, so I had to take a photo. And it's such a great memory because I was with my friends that I love and adore so much, so it just brings me right back to that moment. I can definitely see similarities in these two and having similar styles, and it does play into my background of having been trained in comic art and not in realism, but I kind of like the style of it, and I like how I limited the palette to be more pinks and turquoises.
So if you're interested in watching my journey, I would love if you subscribed and followed. Tell me what you think of these first 2 pieces, and I'd love to see you back here. If you're also interested in collage, I just launched 2 more sessions for learning collage in a 6-week class online. I would love if you could join me there. I've signed up infinitely now for buy one, get one free on my website for art prints. I have collage kits if you're interested, and you can get them all at flanzella.com. I hope you guys can support me in some way. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon.